dies.
Hello and welcome to the unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast interview series. And today's guest, one of the fastest rising stars in maritime wrestling, the Alberta Clipper, Matt Chevron.
How you boys doing?
Doing great. Yourself?
Not too bad.
We're pumped to get you on here, man. It was nice to meet you a couple weeks ago, Miramichi.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a hell of a show. That was fun. So,
that was a fun one. We're going to start with
looking for hot dogs out there. That's what I was out there for. I was looking for
they're good hot dogs.
$3 hot dogs. I get real stoked about that. So.
There's some good hot dogs in Miramichi, man. Corey was chirping me when I went to the show because we went Nate before not last show, the show before. We went Nate before. Mid show, I'm like, give me a hot dog, man. At that price, I'm in.
Oh yeah, the cheaper the better for sure. Hey, I'll get it out of the way before I even forget about it. I was talking to Kerry Killam at the last CCW show, and he's a little mad at you boys for thinking he's Chant's white. He's a little upset about that because he ain't no Chant's white, he says.
That's our bad.
I thought I'd get it out there. I told him I would.
All right, Kerry, we hear you. Were you a big wrestling fan growing up, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it just never wasn't there type deal. But I knew you guys were going to hit me with that kind of question. So I was trying to think back to my earliest memory of wrestling in general was trading cards. I had the 1992 WWF trading cards. And I had a Texas Tornado one. And that was my favorite one. So,
all right, because it was a cool name or what?
No, I you know what? I was probably susceptible to thinking that. I mean, I think a lot of people were. Everybody thought Kerry Von Erich was the Ultimate Warrior, and I was probably susceptible to that as a kid. But I was really into the look of the Texas Tornado. I'm a big Von Erich fan after the fact too. So obviously.
100%, man. Was Texas Tornado your favorite wrestler back then?
I would say these days, if I look back, Kerry Von Erich's definitely my favorite.
All right.
I mean, I would probably put him up there as if I rattle off three, it's probably going to be Roddy Piper, Kerry Von Erich, Jake Roberts. Those are my three right off the bat. So.
Oh, I like that, man. That's some interesting choices.
One body guy and two other guys, right?
Yeah, but like such great on the mic, great wrestlers, good workers. And you slip a Canadian in there, which why not?
Yeah, absolutely. You're
from Grand Prairie, right?
Yeah, I'm from Grand Prairie. That's where I just moved from last year in June. So I had floated around. I spent some time in Cold Lake, Alberta. Spent some time in Jasper, Alberta. I lived in Kelowna for a little bit. That's BC. I hitchhiked through BC for over a year. So I was kind of a nomad for a little bit in my non-wrestling days. But yeah, I'm from Grand Prairie. So
how did growing up there shape you as a person?
I don't know. It's a tough town.
Yeah.
It's a tough town. It's a dirty, tough town. There's a lot of jokes out in Alberta is Grand Prairie. If you're looking for a good joke, everybody's got a Grand Prairie joke out there. It's definitely a good. I miss it every day. I didn't think I'd ever get homesick because I spent so much time moving around earlier. But being out here for the last year, definitely homesick for Grand Prairie. So it's a little windy, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Alberta has a few solid wrestling schools, man. You chose CanAm. What made you choose CanAm Wrestling School?
Actually, the CanAm that I went to is in Windsor, Ontario. So
okay,
and so it's owned by Scott D'Amore.
Yeah,
and so I got family in Windsor, Ontario. So I went out at 17 years old. I'm lucky that I had the Windsor thing going on because it's a good history there. Scott D'Amour's got a good thing going for a long, long time there. And I was lucky to go there. I think it was like $3,000 when I went there in 2006. So I'm going to age myself now. 17 in 2006. But yeah, no, it was, I chose that because of obviously my Windsor connection, and why not choose, that Rhino train there. That's their big, and Sabin, Shelley, you name it, right? The list is pretty big.
Good prestige.
Yeah, you got those guys dropping in back then when I was there. So you'd have quite a few drop in, trainers to show you something. And, why not? Like I worked all summer to save up for that. On my 17th year, I was an Ontario Ranger. I was building salmon beds.
Wow.
And doing some shit like that out in the woods to save up the money.
Cool. You got to do what you got to do what you want, right?
I knew that's what I was doing right out of high school. So I had that plan. I got kicked out of religion class for punching a dude in the head because he was making fun of me about it. And then I failed that religion class with a 49.
Okay.
50's the pass. You know what she was doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Her name was Sister Monica. She liked me up until I knocked that kid
out. What was it like training at CanAm? Who were the trainers when you were there?
Well, 2006 was a little different, I guess. It was a little bit, still those days, it was pretty hard. The people got filed out pretty quickly if you, a lot of puking going on. I'll just say that without saying anything else. But I had a little bit of Johnny Devine, actually. He was my very first original trainer. But not for very long. I think he was there maybe a week until they just switched at that point. And then I got Tyson. Tyson Dukes is, that was from pretty much the beginning there till I was done with them at that school. So it's like, it was Tyson the whole ride pretty much. And it was Tyson, couldn't ask for better like that.
Tyson's a fantastic wrestler. Definitely one of the best to come out of Canada. What was it like learning from him? Was it challenging, you say?
God, learning from Tyson was not challenging. Okay. Well, I guess it's challenging because wrestling's challenging.
Yeah.
But definitely a very good teacher. Like, he's patient. But I only have good memories from we had a very small class. I was lucky that way. I think it was 3 of us for the majority. We had some people come in here and there, some other students, but the core group was a buddy of mine and a female wrestler named Kat Power, actually. And it was the 3 of us, and then a few others would come here and there. But he was so detailed, so it was easy, to learn from a guy that detailed and knowledgeable. Obviously, we had Scott D'Amour there too. So,
yeah.
When he was during his TNA years, the early 06. So I guess that time, he was there when he was there, and you learn a lot from him too. So definitely an easy place to learn if you're ready to put in the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a unique in-ring style. Who or what inspired that style?
Funny enough, you guys know who Low Key is, obviously, I think. Yep. So a lot of Low Key. It's I don't think anybody would guess that, because a lot of early X Division is weird as that. I watch a lot of old stuff. I watch a lot of World Class, obviously. I'm a big Von Erich fan. But I watch a lot of older stuff. But during those years where I was younger, I watched a lot of that early X Division. And Low Key, I would take cherry pick some stuff from what I seen Low Key do. So I do. It's probably where all my kicking started, I guess.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That's not what I would have guessed for sure, but I can see that.
It's definitely a weird one. I don't think a lot of people would guess that one.
No, I like that. Your t-shirt logo has you wearing an oil pump jack on it. What's the story behind that design? And for us East Coasters, what exactly is an Alberta Clipper?
Okay, well, I'll start with that part. An Alberta Clipper. So I forget what year it was. I was watching the Weather Network. Okay. So when the weather dude talks about the storms coming into the east, they refer to it. You can Wikipedia. It's called an Alberta Clipper. So like when a storm front comes from the west to the east, so it's kind of poetically nice. Then the storm moves into the east. It's called an Alberta Clipper, and they always say that. So I remember thinking it was sweet. I was like, man, that could be a sweet name for something. So years later, I ended up being able to use it, and here we are. It's the name of my finishing move too, actually. So it's a self-titled album, like Bad Company by Bad Company. So,
it makes sense, though. I mean, it is kind of your story, you know. You're the Alberta Clipper.
Yeah, it worked out good. I've been just sitting on it for quite a long time, and it worked. You know, it's like we said it once, and now here we go with it. But and the oil, the pump jack on there, I guess it's self-explanatory. Is I'm from Alberta, and Grand Prairie is a big oil town, and most of the towns that I lived in I worked in the oil field. I was in fracking actually for quite a while. So between my jumping around, I played in a band for a bit. I was an actor for a bit, but then when I went to work and I stopped doing that kind of stuff for a little bit, I worked in the oil field. So.
And what made the Alberta Clipper decide to swing east?
Oh, well, I guess cat's out of the bag. My wife is the head coach for UNB women's volleyball. So I'll put her over like that. So I was sitting in camp and I got the call that we're moving out so she could take the job out here. That's where I met her in Grand Prairie. She was coaching out there. So when we got the job, I grabbed a bunch of camp cookies because the food's free and you can just grab as much as you want. Threw it all in a bag and then we packed up our 2 dogs and we drove across the country. And I said, you know, if I'm going to come out east and have to pay 15% tax versus 5% tax, I'm going to do myself a favor and get back into wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we are, because I was pretty much sitting in camp for quite a while at that point.
Yeah. How do you like New Brunswick? How do you like the Maritimes? How's it treated you so far?
Well, I thought it was all Newfoundland. That sounds like a joke, but I'm dead serious.
I love it.
Straight up, I met the only people from out east you meet in Grand Prairie are the Newfies who go out there to work on the patch. And
yeah,
I met this one dude. This is a good story because I met this one dude, and I'd met some Newfies, but not with the strong accent Newfie. But I was sitting there in an orientation at this energy service place, and I'm there all day, 4 or 5 hours with this dude, and he's talking to me, and he's got one of the strongest accents I've ever heard. So I'm like, I swear, I'm telling myself this guy's from Ireland. So I says to him finally later on, we're hacking darts, and I says, man, are you Irish? And he goes, oh, no, I'm Newfie. And I'm like, oh, man, I didn't know. So, before I met my wife, I didn't even know. You know what's funny is Tyson Dukes is actually from here originally. He's from Miramichi. And I did not know anything about this place. I didn't even know that because he was billed from Windsor.
He's definitely the pride of Miramichi, man.
That's right. And I remember somebody told me a story that they asked why he wasn't billed from Miramichi, and he said his response was, nobody's going to know where that is.
Absolutely. Right.
No, don't know where it is, and I can't tell it.
And you know what, though? Another weird coincidence is I worked for a company in Peace River, Alberta that won the bid for a job. So I was just working for them, living in a hotel, running equipment. And this company was based out of Miramichi. And I didn't know where the hell it was. I didn't think much of it. So I was actually getting paid from Miramichi. I'd get checks listed with the address from Miramichi. This is way before I met my wife. So I didn't even know. And her family's from Miramichi. So, small world. Now I live 2 hours away from it.
Yeah, you wrestle there once every 6 weeks.
That's right, yeah.
You're now training out of the River Valley Athletic Club. What's the vibe there?
Yeah, so my father-in-law, retired policeman here in Fredericton, knew a guy who knew a guy. And, I didn't know anything about anything, and one day he called. I seen him on the phone when I just got here last June, I guess it would have been. He says, get in the truck, jumps in, and drives me to a place, and drops me off. And so I guess I was kind of just introduced me to the guys there, and I guess I was just kind of gifted to them, like here, dropped them off. He's yours now. I was forced upon them. But no,
now you get to walk home.
Yeah, no, but it's been really good. I've been there it's my home away from home right now because I'm there at least once a week. I got newborn baby, so I'm down to about once a week, but before that I'm at least twice a week there, keeping in shape. It's pretty close to where we live here, so
cool.
Awesome, man.
You and Scott Lee Crew have been just killing it as Crude Oil. How did the team come together, and why do you think you two work so well together?
Well, I guess the team came together with the simple fact that Scott Lee is Alberta. So that's where he started wrestling, was in Alberta, and that, I guess, that connection, it's been great. I couldn't ask for a better tag partner. We sync up pretty good. We got the same kind of frame of mind about wrestling, same opinion on wrestling, so it's nice. And he's a veteran for sure. So he can, the communication isn't complicated.
You two have been NBWA tag team champions now for 227 days. You defended it all over the place: Fredericton, Doketown, Minto. What does it mean holding the belts for that long? Because I'm sure it's an honor.
Oh yeah, I think in a few days here, I think we are the longest reigning.
I believe so.
I know I've been talking so much shit about it, so I know this. I've had to keep count because I keep using it as shit talk. So it's been good. It's gone by real quick. I guess we won it in October. I don't drink much, but that night I went and had 5 beers and I was drunk. So I felt like that we needed to do that. So it's been awesome. We've kind of evolved. We've gotten more in sync as a team, so it's helped. Like I said, we got the same philosophy on wrestling, so it's not hard work tagging with Scott Lee. It's definitely comes easy. So
takes a lot of the heat away from you and puts it on Scott Lee with the dog treats and all that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gifted that. I'm gifted that instant heat. I got to do my best to, stay on his level, which challenges me to stay on that level because he's so good. He's so good, all aspects of it, right? So he's actually been, I would credit him with, I had a lot of years off out of the ring, so he's helped me bring, getting the rust off, I guess, is without a better term of saying it. So.
Yeah. Nothing lasts forever. When the day does come that you lose the NBWA tag team titles, whether it be in a week, whether it be in another 227 days, is there another title that you got your eyes on? And not just in CCW, but Lutte Prestige as well. There's the River Valley title, there's the NBWA heavyweight title, the Lutte Prestige title. Anything on your radar?
Well, I was pretty close with that River Valley. It was me and Fantana a little while back, just this year. It was me and him, and it came to a double count out there because we took each other out on the outside, and I was pretty close to that one, I feel like. So maybe that's on the radar. But I have an upcoming match against Hunter Sampson, the new Prestige champion, coming up at the end of the end of the month on June 27th, I believe.
Yes.
So, that'll be a good. I've wrestled the Hunter a few times. We've done a few tags when we've done a few singles. I think we've done 3 or 4 singles. So,
yeah, another up and coming rising star in New Brunswick.
Surprise, from the Miramichi as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's strong. He's strong, man. Did you know I found this out, actually. I think it was the world's biggest horse or something, like a record-breaking horse was called Samson.
Was it?
I found that info out for him, actually.
You just mentioned IHW not long ago. You just had your 4th IHW match against Fantana. Your debut with IHW, you were Logan Green's tag team partner. Logan's one of our favorites. He's one of the most entertaining guys. What is it like teaming up with someone like Big Bad LG? The Instant Heat, just something like Scott Lee Crew, but very different than Scott Lee Crew.
Well, that one, you know what? Funny story about that is when we entered, I did not expect his music to be the pace that it's at. So I was a little taken back that it was pretty slow going. So I had to just, I just tried to be like Diesel. I just tried to be Logan Green's Diesel that night. And I think it worked because, we put up a pretty good fight against them guys. But yeah, it's the same as working with Scott Lee. It's easy because it's the same veins. I'm coming out and they got heat. He's got heat. So it was, again, gifted to me, and I got to run with that. So I'm definitely lucky. That was a lucky, it was a good team.
It was a very good pairing. I really enjoyed that match, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun. That was my first IHW. Yeah.
You've recently announced that you are a full-time wrestler now, which is absolutely awesome. I think only you and Hollywood Cole are the only full-time wrestlers in the Maritimes. For promoters listening right now, how can they get in touch with you to book you at shows?
I'm actually pretty simple that way. I think you can just social media, the messenger. I got email too, but it's usually just talk to me on Messenger if possible. But I do got an email. It's not hard to reach me, but yeah, I'm on there. So
cool. We're going to start to wrap things up a little bit here with some lighthearted questions, not so serious. We recently had a question on our podcast about entrance music, and we were asked by a fan on who our favorite Maritime Wrestling entrance music was. In your opinion, who has the best entrance music in the Maritimes? Not counting your own, of course.
Oh yeah. Actually, it's gonna sound like I picked an easy one, but I like listening to it. It's Scott Lee Crew's singles music, because we come out to Back in the Saddle by Aerosmith, but he comes out to what is it?
Heaven's
it's a
on
Kiss
Fire.
Song. Yeah, Heaven's on Fire. That's right.
I love that song.
So that's my number one pick, I'd say.
Cool.
And just because it fits so good.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, what's your entrance song?
It's actually by Whiskey Myers, and it's called Hammer. So it's not one of their well-known songs, but just kind of happened to fall upon it. I'm a big Whiskey Myers fan. I've been a fan of theirs since about 2012, which is probably like the year after their debut album came out, and they're like all over that show Yellowstone and whatnot. So
yeah, almost like a southern rock.
Yeah, I tend to stick to that genre. If you listen to my playlist, it's pretty well similar to any of that kind of stuff. So
cool.
It seemed fitting.
Based on your locker room experience, which wrestler do you think would make the best stand-up comic?
I'll give that one. You know what? He's not going to be a wrestler, but I'll give it to Eric Bass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric Bass or Zane. I'll just give it to either of those two.
Yeah. Bass is pretty funny. Do you have any funny locker room stories or any road trip stories that you could tell?
Oh, not really offhand lately. I mean, there's probably tons if I really think about it, but can't really, some of them maybe I don't know. We'll skip that one.
All right. I don't blame you.
Who's given you the most painful chop so far?
Oh, Massie Harris. Easy. His hands are huge. So yeah, and I think I'm due for one here soon. So he's definitely got him, I think. So I don't that or you know what? Rick Owens gives some good ones.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
Wait till you wrestle Ian Pratt, and then we'll ask you that question again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Have you ever had a crowd chant something that completely threw you off or broke you mid-match?
Yeah, I was wearing trunks. I wear the long tights actually against Massie Harris, and I was wearing just the trunks, and they were chanting, "Put some pants on." It didn't really throw me off, but I thought it was random because I mean, it's like they didn't see a wrestler wearing trunks before, but they went on pretty good, and it was like next show I wore long tights, not because of that, but it might have seemed like because.
And last question, besides the upcoming CCW anniversary show, where else can people catch you in action in the next little while?
Well, like I said, Prestige on June 27th coming up, and then we got a boatload of NBWA, CCW shows pretty well filling the calendar. And then I'll be over at United Wrestling. Me and Rick Owens tag team for the Joe Dunlap. He'll be our manager. I'll put a little quick Joe Dunlap over. It's funny story. I think Joe Dunlap and me ran into each other years and years ago in Ontario, in a little town called Tillsonburg, Ontario. So
cool.
Small world.
Yeah, so I'll be out there. That's July 12th and the 13th for United. And then I think I got an upcoming IHW show too. So.
Perfect. Cool. All kinds of places to see him.
Oh, yeah. And then, the summer is just jam-packed with NBWA, CCW stuff, and more Prestige. I'm up there. So I like that crowd. That's a fun crowd. So.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. You'll probably see us at a bunch of these shows. I'm off in July, so I plan on catching a bunch of shows.
Yeah, you guys got to get out here to Fredericton. These ones, you got to get out to. I haven't seen you out here yet.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a CCW show yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to get to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was out there twice last summer. Fun time.
Okay.
Fun time.
Yeah.
We will make it happen. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you're not the only one wanting us to get out to Fredericton, so I think you're going to see that happen real soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I put it over every time I can, so it's good.
I appreciate you, man.
With that being said, that's the episode. Matt, just stick around a little bit once we end the recording so that it can download. That being said, thank you very much to the Alberta Clipper, Matt Chevron, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember to catch us here every Wednesday for a new episode. Please visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and more. Links are in the description. See you next time.
Don't miss out and don't be late. Hear wrestling talk that's first rate.